Giving all my love to one man is hard, but I have two. One on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. Neither of them knows about the other, because I'm doing a great job of that challenge. And I have enough love to share with them both. My work helps me do that. I have a crisis management business. No, we don't handle natural disasters, wars, etc. It's just all the nasty divorces, arrests, old racist social media posts, alcohol or drug problems, all these modern things going on in California, New York, or Washington, D.C. The tiffs between the two houses in Los Angeles and Virginia are pretty easy to explain. I didn't want this from the beginning. I could have exercised the self-control I advise my clients, but I guess do as I say, not as I do it would have been more honest. In any case, both husbands also travel, and we don't have kids, so no harm done. And the change of scenery energizes me for both husbands. How do I cope? Simple. Different bank cards. One set for each guy. Right now I'm looking at Steve's cards on the flight to California. For the flight back to Washington, I'll have Peter's cards in my laptop bag. I'm constantly updating them to make sure everything is in order. I don't want to mix storylines because then my worlds would collide, like in that Seinfeld episode. I've been married to Peter for 10 years. I met him at a car show just after I turned 30, and we hit it off. He's a law school professor, with glasses, a tweed jacket, and a goatee. Serious and solid. After a little thought, he could talk for whole paragraphs. Steve, also a lawyer, is the opposite of Peter. He handles licensing and copyright transactions. He represents exploding energy, constantly throwing out snippets of ideas just to hear what they sound like. He never wears a tie, even when we got married. It was okay because it was just a fake Elvis ceremony in Las Vegas. He didn't insist on more than that. We had been together for 3 years and had been married for 2 years. I focus on my cards in Steve's name. I always call the guy I'm dating, so there was news about what Steve is working on, his family, a recent doctor's visit. He's also hot on local political issues. It took me half an hour to go through my files to figure it all out. Reading time was over and I dozed off. What was my amazement when Peter was waiting for me in the terminal after my plane had landed. I was shocked. It was my husband from the East Coast. Not from California. He was supposed to be in New York for a conference. My worlds were suddenly threatening to collide. Surprise, he said with a broad smile, enclosing me in a tight hug. What are you doing here? I asked when I came to my senses. I wanted to see you. To say goodbye in person. Say goodbye? Oh, have you found her yet? Said my boyfriend from California, Steve, coming up behind me. I almost peed in fear. Steve held out his coffee to Peter. You have outstanding taste in guys, Cheryl, Peter told me. Steve and I get along great. My mouth must have been open. Peter continued. You like a lot of men in your life, honey, so I'd like to add 2 more guys, Bob and Larry. Bob timidly approached me. Larry smirked. When they got close enough to touch me, Bob held out an envelope to me and said something I couldn't hear, while Larry took a picture. Then they turned and walked away. Peter looked at me with a sad smile. I thought about having your divorce papers handed to you at home, but then I thought, to hell with it. I've never been to Hawaii. So, I decided to save money for the trip. And it gave me a nice, long chat with Steve here. I mean, in person. He and I had a long talk on the phone before that. Then Steve spoke. And I'm here to tell you that they changed the locks in the apartment and to give you the key to the storage unit where I threw all your stuff. He put the key in my hand, and I just stared at them both in silence. How? Asked Peter, anticipating my mute question. Simple. I found your cards. It turned out very interesting. And detailed. Steve was easy to find here. I used to be in the Justice Department. I'm not really ignorant, just too gullible. I've always been bad at it." Then the boys hugged each other and, after shaking hands, turned and walked away, leaving me with my mouth wide open.